It was a Tuesday night around 11 p.m. in 2013. I was walking home from work down a dimly lit street. My car was in the shop, so I had to walk 3 miles home every day. The walk took about an hour, so I usually got home before midnight. Living in a small town in southern Indiana, the roads were mostly empty at 10 p.m., except for the occasional trucker heading to Indianapolis. About a mile into my walk, I turned onto a dirt road that led to my house, which was off the beaten path. The road was surrounded by forest. As I turned, I heard the faint sound of a motor in the distance, getting closer very slowly. About a quarter mile down the road, I saw a van moving slowly without its lights on. This didn't strike me as unusual because our town had a cheap car dealership that sold vehicles with broken parts, like headlights. I assumed the van belonged to one of their customers. I kept walking, but the van's sudden roar and the headlights turning on startled me. It sped up, then slowed down and turned off its lights again about 500 feet away from my turn. This time, I felt genuinely creeped out. I quickened my pace, constantly glancing back to see if the van was following me. To my horror, the van turned onto the dirt road. I was only about 500 feet ahead of it and started walking much faster. When I glanced back again, I saw the van had stopped, and both the passenger and driver's doors were open. Fear surged through me, and I ran for my life down the road. I heard a gunshot, certain I was about to die. I quickly turned into the forest and hid behind a large rock. I heard a middle-aged man's voice not far away, saying, "I think she went into the woods." To my horror, 3 young girls responded, "Okay, sir. We'll see if we can find her." I was terrified not only for my life, but also at the thought of being forced into whatever sick group this was. Covering my mouth to stay silent, I overheard the man say, "Whoever finds her doesn't have to drink the blood tonight." A million thoughts raced through my mind. Was this a satanic cult? Were the girls kidnapped? Would I become one of them? I stayed hidden behind the rock for what felt like an eternity, paralyzed by fear. Finally, I heard sirens nearby and saw red and blue lights outside the forest. Summoning my courage, I ran out screaming for help. The cops approached me, asking if I knew about a body. Confused, I said no. Then I saw a gruesome sight of a naked, gutted young woman, blood everywhere. The van was gone. I explained everything to the cops: the van, the man, the girls, and the blood. They assured me they would investigate and kindly drove me home. That night, unable to sleep, I looked out my window and saw the same van driving slowly down my street without its lights on. This time, I wrote down the license plate and called the cops immediately. When they arrived, the van was gone, but what they told me still haunts me. The license plate was registered in South Dakota, but other precincts across the country had received reports of a suspicious van with the same plate number in Vermont, Nevada, Alaska, and Texas all that night. The cops promised to inform me if they found anything else, but I never received a call. I don't believe in the paranormal, so I think it was some cult using fake license plates to carry out their sinister activities nationwide. I've since moved out of Indiana, and now, whenever I see something suspicious, I bolt.